And I don't necessarily know if 60 is the new 30. I don't know if I agree with that, but 60 is good. 60 is not, I say I'm old, and when I say I'm old, I'm not, it's not a dirty word. I just mean I've lived a long time. I've lived for 63 years. That's old. It doesn't mean decrepit. It doesn't mean worn out. It just means I have a lot of life experience. Um, I have well, some wisdom. I have mental clarity. And I'm proud of that fact that I'm still here, because not everybody gets that opportunity.
I wake up in the morning with a smile on my face, feeling thankful for the love and the happiness we chase. Sun is shining brightly, sky so blue and clear. With every
Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you about life after 60, how things can really turn around if you want them to. If I was to ask you, are you living the life you want to live right now? And I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't have a course or anything like that. I'm hoping that I can encourage other people, or maybe inspire them by sharing my story. Not that it's the greatest story ever told, but I have turned my life around drastically in just 2 years. And it was because I asked myself that question. I was miserable, and I was like, is this really all there is? Is this it for me? Because I wasn't ready, even though physically I felt like I was ready, because my health had deteriorated and I hadn't been taking care of myself, and I was just tired and worn out and felt like crap. But inside, there was still a part of me that has so much I want to do. There's so many things left that I want to do. And the only thing standing in my way was me. I knew that if I wanted to do these things, I had to make some changes. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I wasn't ready to just give up and give in. And I see a lot of people doing that at my age. I can tell they're just tired. And life is tiring and it's stressful. So I get it. I don't blame anybody, but I still have that drive. There's something in me that still is pushing me. And I'm going to take advantage of it, because someday that inner person is going to get tired too. They're not going to want to do anything. By the way, just notice my kitchen. I did my Halloween stuff. I actually did the whole lower level, and I take you on a tour of it if you guys want to see, because I put a lot of work into it. It takes me a lot to do what I do. And if you want to see more, it's on my other channel. I'll leave a link in the description. But I've done part 1. I'm going to do a part 2 later. But anyway, I've been busy doing all this. And I had even lost the desire to do this kind of stuff. And decorating for the holidays is one of my favorite things in the world. But for me, it's a lot of work, because I put a lot of effort into it. But I had just lost it. I just didn't really care anymore. I was just getting tired. I was going to start handing out my decor to my kids. I was going to start dividing it up, because I thought I can't do it anymore. Like I said, I turned things around. I decided I wasn't done, and I had to work at it. It hasn't been easy, but it's been so worthwhile. I had to change my diet. I became a carnivore. Some of you know, carnivore, ketovore transformed my health. I went through 60 years of my life eating a standard American diet, feeling like crap all my life, just thinking that's the way it was supposed to be. I didn't know any different, because I never felt any different. I just always felt like crap, and I pushed through. And when I changed my diet, I was just, I just wanted to feel better. Wow. I was like, is this what people feel like? Do most people feel good all the time? I was blown away. I was also angry that I wasted so many years going through life feeling sluggish and with that mental fog and never having the energy that I needed. And now, I'm in my 60s and I feel wonderful. And it's like, damn it, I wasted so many years. But anyway, like I said, the 2 biggest obstacles in our way of living our best possible life is health, your energy level, and money. Well, I had neither. My health had deteriorated. My bank account had dwindled. and I had to go back to work. I stayed home to take care of my sister for about 7 years. I always knew I'd have to go back to work, but I didn't realize how much the landscape had changed out there, how hard it was going to be to find a job at this point because so many businesses had closed and so many people had scaled down, and there were less and less jobs and more people competing for the same jobs. And I was up against ageism for the first time in my life. And it is real. It does exist, whether you agree with it or not. It's out there. And I was so fortunate to find what I'm doing now. I'm doing Uber gig work. It's not a career. I wouldn't recommend it if you were younger unless you just needed money, but it's perfect for older people like me that are only going to be working for a short period of time and need to make some easy money because it's not very strenuous. Yeah, there's some pitfalls, there's some cons, but overall for what I need for right now, it's perfect. So I can decide how many hours I feel like working that day. I don't have to put in an 8-hour shift. I don't even know if I'm capable anymore. I haven't worked an 8-hour shift in 9 years. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd even want to. Because time is of the essence at this point, I could live another 20, 30 years, and I hope to, but I don't want to spend these years, my golden years, working full time. If I had to, I think I could and I would, but I don't, so I won't. And I'm going to prioritize things. I work a certain amount of time to make money because I have a 2-year plan, and this fits in with that. And it also allows me the freedom to live my life. I can work my life around my job. I work my job around my life. That's what I meant. Before, it was like the job was number one priority and you had to figure out a way to work your life around it. I don't have to do that anymore. So I'm really grateful for that. And it's had its ups and downs. I just went through the summer slump. It's picking up. The kids are back in school, so hopefully I'll make some more money. Yeah, now I'm able to do the things that I wanted to do that I didn't think I'd ever get a chance to do again. And I wouldn't have, feeling the way I did. But it also takes money. A lot of the things I want to do takes money. People say, oh, the best things in life are free. That's not necessarily true. It sounds romantic and sweet, but it takes money to do the things, that I want to do, like traveling and the experiences I want. We want to go whitewater rafting. We're planning a trip doing that with the family, and backpacking, and, it costs to buy the gear and, just things like that. So I'm willing to work to make the money to do those things and also add to my savings and pay off what few debts I have, because yes, I do have some debts at 63. I know, shame, but they're not, I like I said, I have a 2-year plan. I should be debt free and then get my life back on track. I'm not going to reiterate that. That's, if you want to find out about what went wrong, I have a lot of videos on that. I'm here now. I'm making the most of it. I feel good. When you feel good physically, you feel good mentally and emotionally. And I don't know. It's just, I'm not working full time, so I'm not slaving away at some corporate job that I don't like. I've raised my family. So for the first time in my life, and I'm not a caregiver right now, I can focus on me. And it's like, I didn't even know what I wanted. I never stopped to think about it. I just did the things I had to do. I had to do this and I had to do that. And now that I don't have to do anything really, I can stop and think about what I want. And I want more. I want more out of my life. I just do. Some people are content with the smaller, simple life, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want more, you got to be willing to work for it. And I am. And I'm fortunate that I can work for it, because it would be sad if I wanted to do all these things, but I couldn't work for it. I am fortunate. So I'm going to continue taking care of my health. Number one priority. And it should have been all along, but especially at this age, it's really important. Fun is so important to me. And a lot of people will argue with me on this one, and I don't care. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like being around the people I love. I like having adventures and experiencing new things. I'm not ready to just sit in a recliner and reflect on, past memories and things I did. I'm still wanting to make memories, and I think I have a good, I would say, I would like to think I have another 30 years left, but anything could happen, right? Anything, you can get cancer, you can get hit by a car, you can get any kind of illness. But if I continue to take care of myself and I feel this good and nothing crazy happens, I can see myself living another 20, 30 years easily. And, I've talked to a lot of people that are in their 80s and even 90s, and they're amazing. They're sharp. They're still physically active. Maybe they're not as fast as they once were. I've told a story about this lady I've run into. She lives up here. She's 92. She looks amazing. She's still driving. She's still sharp. And when I see people like that, it gives me hope. They used to portray people in their 60s as like just decrepit and worn out, and it's not that way anymore. And I don't necessarily know if 60 is the new 30. I don't know if I agree with that, but 60 is good. 60 is not, I say I'm old, and when I say I'm old, it's not a dirty word. I just mean I've lived a long time. I've lived for 63 years. That's old. It doesn't mean decrepit. It doesn't mean worn out. It just means I have a lot of life experience. I have some wisdom. I have mental clarity. And I'm proud of that fact that I'm still here, because not everybody gets that opportunity. A lot of people passed away younger than me. My mom did, and she was a very vital, mentally sharp woman, but cancer. She got a rare form of cancer, and it took her out really quick. And that was really sad to see, but it made me realize it can happen to anybody at any time. And, it's so important to realize, life is fleeting. We hear that all the time, but it's serious. It goes by so fast. And I even have to reinforce that. And, all the time I have to remember, hey, I don't have tons and tons of time. I can't put off anything, because I do that. I was like, oh, I'll get to that. It's like, no, you won't. You do it now. If there's anything you have to do, do it now. Nothing needs to be put off. And so, yeah, I have to do it, because I'm a great procrastinator, and I could get away with it when I was younger, but not now. I have to do all the things. But I lose my train of thought so easy. The point is, life after 60 can be as great as you want it to be. I've been watching YouTube channels where people have fallen in love for the first time in their 60s. They've never experienced it before. How grand is that? Or people that are traveling to foreign countries, writing books, learning how to play an instrument, becoming actors and actresses in their 50s. We have some wonderful celebrities that didn't even get involved in it until they were older. People have started new companies, written books, screenplays, all kinds of wonderful things. I've been watching this one lady. She's a bodybuilder in her 80s. She looks amazing. I never looked like that even in my prime. So anything's possible. It's what we want, it's up to us, and some of us have a lot of drive and some of us don't. And that's okay. Whatever you want out of life, whatever you're willing to put into it, it's up to you. It's an individual thing. I can't tell anybody else how to live their life, but I just want you to know that if you're not done and you want more, it's available. It's an option. Don't let anybody tell you, no, it's too late. It's too late. You're too old. Maybe they are, but doesn't mean you have to be. So if you're really not where you want to be in life and you still have all these things you want to do, you can do it. You just need to sit down and figure out a way. For me, like I said, it was getting my health back, because I knew I had to go to work and I couldn't work feeling like crap. So that was the first step. Had to turn my health around, and I did. And then it was going back to work. And that wasn't easy. Like I said, ageism and the job market is crap. A lot of terrible jobs out there, minimum wage, that kind of stuff. But there's also some great opportunities doing gig work. This wasn't available years ago. We're really fortunate because there's no age limit. Anybody can do Uber. So, I mean, you have to be like 18 or 19, but as far as, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can do it. I've seen people that look like they're in their 80s doing it. And you can work as hard or not as hard as you want. It's up to you. So, getting out there, getting a job, making the money, because you're going to need money. You're going to need money to do these things. And like I said, if you want a different life and you're tired, maybe you've done everything and you're fine. You're done. That's okay too. Don't let anybody tell you what your life should look like. It's an individual thing. I've seen people that have gone through strokes on YouTube and they're turning their lives around. They started YouTube channels and trying to inspire other people. And I just love seeing that. I love seeing people 50s and 60s and on doing amazing things. It's so inspirational. And I'm going to leave a link to a bunch of YouTube channels of people I watch that are 50 and older, because I think you might enjoy them as well. YouTube doesn't push them all out, especially when you're a small channel, so you might not find them otherwise. But that's how I found them. Other people shared them with me. And I've gotten so much inspiration from watching these people, so they have such experience, the different cultures and the things they've done. And it's just so interesting listening to real stories from real people. I don't like watching the polished AI stuff. I'm so over AI already. I'll just start watching a channel and you'll realize this whole thing's AI. I hate it. It makes me so mad. I want to hear from real people. I want to hear their real stories. I like hearing from people that messed up and are turning their lives around, because I know a lot of people were perfect and did things perfectly and their life is perfect. And then there's people like me who messed up and are still around, still trying to turn things around, and it's working. And their life is good. Their life is good. Not everybody who screwed up gave up and just said, okay, well, I made too many mistakes. My life sucks. This is my karma. You don't have to accept that. Even if you did make a lot of mistakes and you did things wrong, you can turn things around. You still have an opportunity there. It's never too late. It's never too late. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve with my channel. I want people to see, a normal person, just, blue collar worker who didn't always make the best decisions and didn't always do everything she should have, but I'm learning. And that's the key. You never stop learning. You got to keep an open mind and an open heart and be willing to listen and take advice from people that are doing better. And I get a lot of wonderful comments from my friends and people that have subscribed, and they share their stories with me. And I really appreciate it. I like hearing from other people and learning from them. So yeah, if you want to start a YouTube channel, I highly recommend that. Everybody's got a story to tell, and you don't know who you might be helping with your story. So yeah, I highly recommend doing that as well. And it's fun. I have a lot of fun, and I like sharing my stuff because I'm not very social, believe it or not. I mean, I have my family and my friends and stuff, but I don't have big dinner parties and have people over, and I'm not sociable all the time. So even though I do all this, I've decked the house out, very few people will see it. I mean, it's just gonna be my family, maybe one or two friends, but I posted it on YouTube. And so then I get to share it with you guys, and I hope I inspire other people. And it's my love language, decorating for the holidays. I like creating this little like magical world. You know what I mean? It's just like a little storybook, and it's fun, and it lets me be creative and artistic, and my family gets a lot of joy out of it too. I create this ambiance, for each holiday, and I get enveloped in the whole holiday. It feels so good when I come home, and it's just festive and warm and cozy, and I just love it. And so I highly recommend it. And most of the stuff I did, and I showed you in the video that I posted on my other channel, a lot of it I made. There's a lot of it is crafts that I created, and I let you know in the video what I've done. And my Dollar Tree crafts, and super easy. And if you're interested in any of those, if you see that, let me know and I'll explain them further in the comments. So anyway, I do got to go out and do Uber. I still work, try to work as much as I can. And this is nice because I can actually work my job around my life, because that's top priority right now. At one time, the job was, because that was, I needed to make lots of money. I don't need to make as much, but I still need to make money. I still need to live, still need to have fun, still need to, find time to work on other things, not just work. So, 20 minutes. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to be able to edit this down very much. Oh, well, if you make it to the end, you got to give me a keyword so I'll know that you guys watched it. I do that because I like to find out how many people actually watch it till the end, and I'll know if it's too long. Let's see. Last time it was Halloween, so this time put Uber. I got to go to work. I got to go do Uber. So if you made it till the end, leave me a comment. Just say Uber and I'll know you were here, and I'll appreciate you so much. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I've got a lot more coming, and I hope you stick around and watch my journey unfold. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.